Back at it like bad habits. Another segment of I Think Uncut. Now, it's time for picks. It's time for picks. Woo! Oh, God bless me. Thank you. You're welcome. Now, picks. I love doing picks, man. Week 2. Week 1, I went 9-7. Okay, 9-7. Seahawks. They weren't supposed to lose that game. You know, the Colts. Maybe they were supposed to lose that game, but they weren't supposed to lose that game just for my picks. You know, there are a couple of them in there that they really hurt my heart. They hurt my heart. But it's a new week. Week 2 in the NFL. And tonight we have Broncos and we have the Chiefs. At the Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium, which is probably the second loudest stadium in the world. No, in the NFL, especially, outdoor stadiums. Number 1 would be the Seattle Seahawks arena, the CenturyLink. Gets bananas in there from what I'm told, and it sounds loud even on TV. Broncos at the Chiefs. Y'all saw the Broncos last week. They were able to edge that game out against the Ravens barely, but they didn't look, at least offensively, they didn't look great. Peyton did look great. I understand it's a new system. They didn't look great. We'll see how everything adjusts. But I said it. I mean, I expect them to get the wild card. I expect them to make the playoffs. But I have the Chiefs winning the division. And the Chiefs looked great last week. Still had a few miscues, with Jeremy Maclin and Alex Smith as they try to, feel each other out and really gain that chemistry. But Jeremy Maclin kept getting open. I'll tell you that. So we'll see. We'll see how that progresses. But tonight I got the Chiefs. And a lot of people always want to bring up Arrowhead, as the main reason, or at least a big part of the reason why Kansas City will win games at home. And that's true. But I don't think that matters for Peyton, okay? Peyton is 6-1 in Arrowhead. 6-1. You know what that tells me? I mean, that noise, he don't care about that. Not at all. That don't mean nothing to him, okay? Yes, you're loud, awesome. Here's a 50-yard pass to Demaryius Thomas for a touchdown. I think that Kansas City is going to beat them just because I like Kansas City's team. I like the team. I always like the defense. Eric Berry's back. And I like the offense now with the weapons that they put on the outside. And Travis Kelce, with his 2 touchdowns last week, is showing you that he can still get the job done. And he's emerged as a top 5 tight end in this league. So I got the Chiefs at home tonight. Okay? Because I think they're the better team. At least right now. We'll see how it unfolds because last year they went on like a 5-game winning streak or something like that. Then they went on like a 3-game losing streak. And one of those wins is when, they're in Arrowhead against Tom Brady and the Patriots and they destroyed them. It's a new year. We'll see how it goes. Now, Sunday, Texans at Panthers. The Texans, they pulled that hook on Brian Hoyer really quickly, didn't they? That didn't last long at all. Them boys, my God. He looked terrible. I understand that. And week 1, quick hook. Quick hook. I watched Hard Knocks too, and then we all heard, him say that this isn't set in stone or anything like that, and Ryan Mallett needs to stay ready. But damn, man, game 1? That's horrible. What if Ryan Mallett go out there against this Panthers defense that's not too shabby itself and he looked terrible? You gonna put Brian Hoyer back in? Oh no. Now look, with all that being said, I think the Panthers offensive line still doesn't look impressive. I was surprised that Greg Olsen only got like 2 targets last Sunday. And he did get a touchdown, but it was called back. Sorry for those fantasy owners who have Greg Olson. It was trash. I had Tyler Eifert on the bench, and he had like 2 touchdowns, man. And, he's starting this week. Texans at the Panthers, though, I'm going to pick the Texans because I think that J.J. Watt and that defensive line is going to be all over Cam, and they will bring him down like the Jaguars were struggling to do. If Clowney, if J.J. Watt, if Vince Wilfork get their hands on Cam, I firmly believe he's going down, 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 down. Yeah. Anyway, I know that was a little extra, but I don't care. 49ers at the Steelers. The 49ers, they look downright impressive against the Minnesota Vikings, who everybody was trying to hop on their bandwagon and beat that drum. You know, like, yo, the Vikings, they're going to rise up and they're going to overtake the Lions this year. And they might make the playoffs in the wild card spot because nobody's going to overtake Green Bay, of course, right? Aaron Rodgers, buddy. But I was always like pump the brakes, even though I thought they would beat the 49ers last week because the 49ers, I didn't really know what to expect with all the things that happened in the offseason and losing Jim Harbaugh and dudes retiring left and right and Frank Gore leaving and, man, you know, and Carlos Hyde looked ridiculous. But with all that being said, the Steelers in their home opener, I am picking the Steelers because the Steelers are not the Vikings. And it is as simple as that. Bucks at Saints. We saw how the Bucks looked last week. Trash. That offensive line looks trash, okay? And the Saints at home, although last year they were getting beat at home and it didn't look like the same like Superdome magic was still around. I think this is a new year, and I think that Brandon Cooks and all of them, they're going to get it together. They like that cat, Brandon Coleman, Marcus Colson will have a better game. Mark Ingram will have a better game. Everybody will have a better game because the Bucks defense is trash. Saints, I got the Saints. Lions at the Vikings. I'm picking the Lions. The Lions let one get away from them last week against the Chargers. It's not going to happen again, especially not against the Vikings. And I expect even Adrian Peterson to have a better game than he did because he didn't have a great game. But you know what? I picked the Lions to make it to the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to go down 0-2. I don't care if they're on the road at the Vikings. That doesn't matter to me. Got the Lions. Cardinals at the Bears. I'm picking the Bears. The Bears actually looked really good offensively last week against Aaron Rodgers until Jay Cutler threw that fateful interception. And I know what you're thinking. Same old Jay Cutler. He does a lot of good things, and then he doesn't. But I like the way that they look. Matt Forte looks like a monster like he always does. The question for him always is, can he stay healthy all 16 games? We'll see. And that Cardinals defense, we know, ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. But I think they'll be able to get the job done with Alshon Jeffrey in there. I think he'll look better this week. Martellus Bennett. Alshon Jeffrey, he wasn't 100% last week. He might not be 100% this week, but getting a game under your belt and going into the second week, having lost in week one, that added motivation. I think it'll be there for them. And Eddie Royal still looks like a solid player. Patriots at the Bills. This one is tough, and that one is always a fun matchup because it's Rex Ryan. And I'm not talking about necessarily Bills Patriots. I'm talking about Rex Ryan and the Patriots. Because of all the talk going into it. You know how Rex Ryan does. He doesn't like the Patriots, and he's going to talk and talk and talk, and it's going to bring more and more attention to the game. And there's a 1 o'clock game, and I'm going to be watching that game because I'll be very interested to see how that unfolds. But I'm going to pick the Bills because of a few reasons. Tyrod Taylor looks like the truth, okay? Not the truth is in top 5 material, but he looks like a very solid quarterback, good arm, good decision making, and I like him. What's interesting about that to me is that I heard that for a while, Rex Ryan, when he was in New York, was trying to get Tyrod Taylor, and they wouldn't give him up. The Bills wouldn't give him up, and I'm like, why? He was like third on your depth chart for your quarterback. Why would you, give it? I don't know. That didn't make sense to me. But I guess he's got his guy now, and he looks good. LaShawn McCoy, we saw like he's still dealing with his little hamstring issues and all that, but as long as he is okay and good enough to run, I think he's going to eat. I mean, even with the way the Patriots won last week against the Steelers, D'Angelo Williams did run for 123 yards. And if D'Angelo Williams can run for 123 yards on that Patriots defense, I think Shady McCoy can get some things going. Uh, and the defense, what the Bills did to the Colts last year or last week, they did it without Marcel Darius, the one that they just gave all that money to, like 60 million guaranteed. 60 million guaranteed, and he deserves it because he could stop the run and he could rush the passer. He had double digit sacks last year at the defensive tackle position, and that is extremely rare. Defensive tackles are usually there to make sure you kind of clog up the run, stop the run, and you kind of, you push your guy back and get some pressure, help collapse the pocket, but it's rare for defensive tackles to get double digit sacks, and Darius is a monster. He wasn't there last week. He'll be there this week. That defensive line, the linebackers. I mean, this defense is ridiculous. And I still didn't even pick them to make the playoffs. I picked the Dolphins, and that might have been a mistake, but time will tell and see how everything unfolds because the NFL season is a crazy one. I picked the Bills in that one. Chargers at Bengals. I picked the Chargers. One of the reasons though is because it's early in the season, and you know how the Chargers do. They come out in the beginning of the year every year, and they look like world beaters, and they're beating everybody, and it's just ridiculous. It's like they beat the Lions last week, and they play the Bengals this week, and I picked the Bengals to miss the playoffs, so they got to lose some games. I know it's still really early, but I think there's going to be one of them. Danny Woodhead, he's a problem coming out of that backfield. Melvin Gordon looked pretty good. And Philip Rivers is looking like early season Philip Rivers, which is usually like almost MVP material early on. So I'm rolling with the Chargers on the road. Titans at Browns. I don't think I need to go into that one too much because the Browns still look like the Browns. Their defense, the strength is supposed to be the secondary, but it's not as good as it has been, and their run defense really isn't good. And Bishop Sankey looked really good last week, and I think that he's going to have a field day. And Mariota is going to do Mariota-like things, and which I think is stay poised, and he's going to play well. I got the Tennessee Titans beating the Browns. Sorry, Browns fans. I got a boy who's a Browns fan at my job. Sorry, bro. Falcons Giants. I can't believe the Giants blew that game last week against the Cowboys on Sunday night, but they did. And the Giants always seem to blow games that they should win, and then they'll win games that you think they shouldn't. But regardless, I'll be picking the Falcons to win this game. The Falcons look really good against the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are a way better team than the Giants. I'm gonna roll with the Falcons and Julio Jones and Roddy White. I expect them to eat again. Rams at the Redskins. So after the Rams just beat the Seahawks, and the way that they did it, they're all over Russell Wilson. They're all over the run game. They put up 34 points. 34 points, 31 of them in regulation. You think the Redskins are gonna beat them? The Redskins? No. There won't be much explanation for this one. The Rams. Dolphins Jaguars. Jaguars last week did not look like I expected them to look. The Jaguars didn't look great by any stretch of the imagination. I expected the Jaguars to look a little better, and maybe it has to do with the Carolina defense because, like I keep saying, it is good. It is a good defense. Dolphins also have a good defense. You got Sue, you got Wake, you got Brent Grimes, you got all these pieces, and you know what? I will be rolling with the Dolphins. Sorry, Jags fans. All three of you. Ravens, Raiders. After what the Raiders just did to me last week after I picked them, and Derek Carr injured his hand, had to come out of the game because he ran with the ball, scrambled, and tried to stiff arm somebody, and that's how he hurt his hand. Terrell Suggs or not, and they just signed Jason Babin. Good luck with that and that spin move he loves to do that starts to get stifled quickly after a while. Um, sorry, I gotta roll with the Ravens regardless of losing Suggs. I mean, they still got Doomerville, and no, I just the Raiders. You made me so mad. Cowboys, Eagles. Let me just tell you right now, it's tough for me to pick against the Eagles, especially when I think that we have a really good team, like I feel that we have, especially against the Cowboys, whom I hate. I, I don't hate the Cowboys. I hate their fans. Look, I was just listening to the Philly Talk Radio a little while ago, and they were asking if things about like rivalries and is the rivalries dead? Are the rivalries dead in this generation? And why are the rivalries kind of lessening and lessening? And you got reasons like safety rules and players are too friendly nowadays. And is this younger generation of fans, are we losing interest in rivalries? And I'll tell you what, I'm 27 years old. And I didn't even pay attention that much when, if yeah, I didn't really pay attention that much when the Cowboys were actually good in the '90s, and like I was still young. I was born in '88, and look, I don't care. I hate the Cowboys. I take rivalry seriously, very seriously. I hate the Giants. I hate the Cowboys. When it comes to basketball, the teams in my division, I'm a Spurs fan. I hate the Mavericks. I hate the Rockets. What? What? Don't tell me shit about the Grizzlies. Fuck them. Anyway, I got the Eagles, man. And you don't even really need to hear much reasoning from me about that, okay? Because this is why. This is why I picked the Eagles. Seahawks, Packers at Lambeau. At Lambeau. Now, look, what I tell you last week, though, no Cam Chancellor. You got Kerry Williams on that other side. Kerry Williams made a great play on that blitz when he hit Nick Foles and he forced a fumble. Then he scooped it up and ran to the end zone. Yay. It's not like he never made a play for the Eagles. He had like a diving interception for us and a few other things. Like he made a good play from time to time, and that's all well and good. But when it all comes down to it, there will be breakdowns in that secondary without those two players. Without Cam Chancellor and with Byron Maxwell being gone. And don't give me whatever about Byron Maxwell because he got torched by Julio Jones, who's possibly the best receiver in the game. I don't want to hear it. He should have done better, yes, especially for the money paid to him, but I don't want to hear it because we all saw Byron Maxwell last year and how he was in that defense. So I got the Packers winning that game. And who saw James Jones coming? They just picked that boy up like a week ago, week and a half, and he came in the first game against the Bears and caught two touchdown passes. One of them was called back, I think, and then he caught another one. I'm like, okay, this guy. But Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception in Lambeau since 2013, I believe was the stat. And if that's the case, man, I definitely don't expect it to happen again with the Legion of Boom being less of the Legion of Boom because where's the boom if you don't have Cam Chancellor? He's the one who comes through and lays the boom. That's where most of the boom comes from. He's not there. Jordan Nelson isn't there. But that didn't matter last week that much. And it's not going to matter this week as much because the Packers will get the job done. I believe I'm picking the Packers. Jets and Colts for Monday Night Football was probably the toughest game for me to pick because it's like you expect Andrew Luck to bounce back, right? I mean, he gets all this hype and deservedly so because the boy's a beast, but he just doesn't have enough around him. He's got T.Y. Hilton out. T.Y. Hilton is hurt. And on the other side, you got Revis and Andre Johnson looked a step slower. So say he's lined up on Andre Johnson, Revis. Like I don't expect that passing game to be really doing much. You know, even and that's I struggle with it because I wanted Andrew Luck and them to get rolling, but I don't see it this week because that Jets defense they're they're right there with that Bills defense to me, especially when they get Sheldon Richardson back. You know, Harrison, Wilkerson on that front line, Sheldon Richardson, you know, Revis, Cromartie. They're like, oh my God, man. No, I'm sorry. I couldn't though. I wanted to pick the Colts, but I couldn't. I think they'll lose this game. And that's it for week two's picks. Holla.